Professional basketball returns to Barre. The American Basketball Association announced today that the league is returning to Central Vermont with the Vermont Coyotes. The Coyotes will begin play in the 2025-26 season at the Barre Municipal Auditorium. That's the former home of Vermont's previous professional basketball team, the Vermont Frostheaves. The team will have a press conference on October 15th to announce its head coach and other team personnel.
All right, guys, here it is, the big day. Actually, tomorrow is the big day, the 15th of October. Today is the 14th, Indigenous Peoples Day. It is a Monday. We've got rain showers. It's going to be raw. It's going to be damp and cold, and maybe even some snow showers coming into the picture by this afternoon. I see up on top of Mount Mansfield, we got plenty of snow up there, and yeah, it's going to be it's definitely the time to start thinking about getting the snow tires on. This morning, we have a very special guest in the Aired Out Podcast studios here on North Main Street in Barre. Tomorrow, the coach of the Vermont Coyotes and the general manager are going to be announced during a press conference at the Barre Auditorium at 5:30. We're going to be there, and we are so excited to bring this team to the Granite City. Russell Chow is with the marketing team. Welcome, my friend. I am so glad you're here. You've come all the way from Montreal.
Yes, that's correct.
Thanks for being here, my man.
You're welcome. Thank you to welcoming me on this podcast.
You've got a big smile on your face. You're very excited to bring this team here to our Granite City of Barre, Vermont. This is really a big deal for us. Let's be honest. Up in Montreal that winters are long and hard up here in the North Country. And frankly, people need to get out of their houses and go have fun, and to see professional basketball right here in the heart of Barre, Vermont is massive, not just for our city, but frankly for the entire region. This is huge. And tell us what to expect tomorrow a little bit.
I think it's a big announcement for the city. It's a way for the community to bring together. And in order to see the announcement of something big, it's something that it's a good activity for families, for a big basketball fan, anyone who like basketball or even just like sports in general. It's a place for them to be tomorrow.
So you're the head of Sequoia Media.
Yes.
You've done some big things.
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz.
Yes.
Subway.
Mm-hmm.
My memory's, I'm thinking Nike.
Yeah.
You've done some really big projects, man.
Yes, exactly. So I did the All Canadian, sponsored by Nike, the All Canadian in Toronto.
Yeah.
So we covered all the top athletes that's playing in high school. That possibly some of them got drafted in the NBA. Some of them like gonna play like NCAA and Division One. A lot of top prospect in Canada.
In Basketball Quebec, what's that?
Basketball Quebec, it's a federation, so it's something like the states here, but like in Quebec we have like a provincial team that's Team Quebec, and we have like big players that plays for that. For example, Benedict Mathurin,
Wow.
Chris Boucher. No, Chris Boucher didn't play for Team Quebec, but Olmax played for that team. Like big players that play in the NBA right now or that played in that team.
Wow. Today is the first major interview with, ahead of tomorrow's press conference, which is so exciting. And I want to thank you and Invisible Productions for giving us that opportunity here at Fly on the Wall Productions. This is massive. This is huge. I got to tell you, Labor Day weekend, the Bennington Martins came to town for an exhibition game against the Barre City First Responders, which was a huge event. Talking about $2,500 that was raised for the Barre Community Relief Fund. It was a massive weekend, and it was just incredible. But I got to tell you, the itch was scratched in a big way. That area up there, the Barre Auditorium, as soon as you go up in that hill and you step on that hardwood up there, that's sacred ground up there for basketball. Basketball is like, here in Vermont, it's like, dare I say, high school football down south. Yeah. Maybe. It is something that is a really big deal here. You guys picked a great city to make this happen. And we're so excited, man. What is your role? What is it that you do along with Anthony and others?
Yeah, basically, like, we're a very small team at the moment. We do mostly like everything. We try to put the pieces together, from all the way from planning, like for example, planning for tomorrow, the big announcement tomorrow, and also like all the way to marketing, like knowing how we can change the basketball world, like how we can promote the sports to the city.
Sure.
And like all the way from marketing strategy, we're doing like social media planning and also even content planning. So all of those stuff that I can stay here whole day with you talking about what our role is, but everybody, it's part of the team and like we work together. So at the moment, like we just try to fill up the puzzle, the pieces that's missing in the team.
We are, one of the questions I'm going to ask you, and I'll let you answer it now, is, which I think many Vermonters are wondering, is, pardon me, is the when. When is this all going to be happening?
You mean like the team when we're going to start playing? Or
Yes, yes.
So it'll be a year from this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
A year from, when you're from next Saturday.
Next Saturday, exactly.
So it'll be the last weekend in October.
Yes.
You were just telling me off camera that you and Anthony, this is going to be a very, very fast year for you.
Yeah.
What do we have to do?
I think, first of all, like we need to announce the head coach, the GM, the main operation people in order to put together, like, it's project management, event planning. Like, there's so much work to be done before. Like, even from finding the right player, the right roster in order to represent the city, because that's what we need. We need a team that will have the potential, like the core system that are gonna fit into the years up to come. So we cannot find like the wrong player or something like that, because we need to build off of that team, and from all the way from the head office all the way to the last player of the bench, like even the redshirt players that are gonna help us train the current team in order to bring them to the next level and just make the city proud.
There are so many folks listening right now that know a high school star player, people right here in our backyard and throughout all of Central Vermont, who are very, very, very good basketball players entering maybe their junior or senior year in high school, and maybe even some players who have just recently graduated from high school and have won a championship. What do you say to these folks, and what do you say to the level of local talent? Is there a possibility that they could be a Coyote?
Yes, of course. Like, I think, like I mentioned earlier, it was more like a community-based team that we want to build. So for sure, like, we're going to prioritize whoever it's local, like, in order to bring the spotlight to what we have in Vermont here.
That's given me goosebumps to hear that, my man. I mean, there's a lot of talent, but there's also a huge level of local pride. Yeah. And you know, we see these teams develop on a high school level, mm-hmm. and they come up, and I mean, let's just be honest. It's over when some of these talented players graduate from high school.
Yeah.
They may go onto a collegiate level court. Mm-hmm. But many don't.
Yeah.
And they are really, 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 really talented. Mm-hmm. So this could be the conduit
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I would give you a good example. Like, I come from Montreal, and we have so many talents from Montreal, but there's not enough places for someone to play in. Like, there's talent. Like, for example, even the NBA. Like, I think it's like 0.1% they're gonna make it to the NBA, and it's just crazy. But you have like the G League after that. You have the ABA after that. You have so many different leagues. You have overseas. You have the CBA in China. You have the Euro League. You have the Euro Cup. Like, you have so many different places, but there's still so many players. So I feel like by having a team in Vermont, that would be like a very, very good thing for the potential stars that maybe even didn't make it to the NBA, didn't make it to the G League,
Sure.
but they're gonna open doors for the media to see them because they need somewhere to showcase their talent. So by showcasing the talent in their local town, if they go like a breakthrough, then that will be like a very good opportunity for the G League to pick them up, or like any other professional league to pick them up.
I know your team leadership, you guys are very eager to begin the recruiting process. Has that already started?
Yes, I'm for sure. Like our owner, Anthony Marquez, he been looking, like he know, like he sees some pieces here and there, but I cannot go further
Yeah.
in disclosing like
Sure.
any informations. So yeah.
How long will this recruiting process be going on for? And when will it be kind of shifting into the next gear?
I think it will take the whole year in order to get that done because there's so many moving pieces. Some player gets some contracts here and there, so some player commit. Like I know, like I've been working with previous professional teams, and some player commit, and after like 2 games in, 3 games in, they just cancel the contract and they go somewhere else, or injuries happen. So we always need to have backup on
Sure.
backup, even during the season, like with all the experience that I had with professional team back in Montreal. Like you always need to be constantly recruiting because you cannot be cut off guard and
Sure.
be having like less than 12 players on your roster.
Sure,
So
sure.
it's very important.
Will that recruiting process, will tryouts, if you will, be happening on a local level right here in Barre?
Yeah, like that's a discussion we had earlier with Anthony. We mentioned that we're gonna have like a very interesting tryout. We didn't think about the details yet, but for sure we need to make it a big impact and make people aware that there's a tryout happening, and we want to bring like all the possible talent into the gym to showcase what they have to bring, like especially what you mentioned about the high school team who won the championship. Like we have an NCAA team here. Like we want to bring the best talent into the league, so it's open.
And again, and I hate to harp on this, but I know I'm going to be asked what the timeline is for all of this. In other words, you guys are hoping to have your entire team, players-wise, constructed, a basic construction by maybe the end of the winter, this spring maybe?
I think we don't have a concrete answer for that question, but if you guys come tomorrow at the conference, for sure you have like the most updated information tomorrow.
Yeah. You have a promotion that's going on right now that if you get on vtcoyotes.com, you can get on the mail list, drop your email in there, and be eligible to possibly win tickets for the first game.
Yes, correct.
Not even, or a little bit more than a year away. I have to tell you, man, I have fond memories, as many Central Vermonters do, of when the Frosties came to town and what they did, winning a championship and just setting the auditorium on fire. I mean, the place was packed all the time. This city really got behind the Frosties, and the fan base was massive. There was also a really profound level of heartbreak when we lost them. What are you guys hoping to do to reassure Vermonters that, man, we're coming with something big, and we plan to stay right here in the Barre area, right in the Granite City. What are you hoping to accomplish by relaying a message to Vermonters that you're here to stay?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I feel like every basketball team or any sports team in general, we want to make sure that we're sustainable. So, like, we don't want to be a team that here for a few years and be gone. We want to be a team that long lasting, where the branding of Sequoia, my own agency, that we always, the philosophy behind it is we build a strong foundation in order to rise. And Sequoia is back to the philosophy of the Sequoia tree, so the one of the oldest living tree.
Yeah.
So if I can put that philosophy into the same team of the Coyotes, is to make sure that it's long lasting, like something that will never die, and that's our responsibility. And also working with the community to make sure that the team will stay, and not only stay, but we need a winning team.
Yeah.
So, like, I hate to lose, and every time that I'm filming for a basketball team or like I'm behind the camera team, and that's my team, I'm repping my team and I want my team to win. So that's where go back to like the Kobe mentality. So the Memba mentality, that's where like you don't want to lose, you want to win. So I will do everything on my hand possible to make sure the team gonna win and gonna be sustainable and they're gonna stay.
Wow. Tell me about Hoops on the Rise. This is a project that you have been front and center on, which is pretty cool. Did a
Thank
little
you.
bit of Googling on that last night, but tell me about it.
Yeah, it's a very long ride. I started Hoops on the Rise back when I was in CEGEP. So CEGEP in Quebec, it's like the equivalent of something, a college in between university and grade 11, because we don't have grade 12 in Montreal. So one of my good friend, we started that because I got an injury. So I'm a big basketball fan. And the injury, I got a dislocated shoulder, so that kind of like prevented me to play like further. Like even though I'm not the best player ever, but I'm like a winner at heart. So I will push all the way that I can. So I think like I was injured, so there's nothing much I can do in the sports industry. So I decided to start something to give back to the community. So one of my podcasts, part of Hoops on the Rise, called Life After Ball, it's one of the guy called Shafiq. He's the guy who kind of like influenced me, motivated, like someone who inspired me to start doing basketball media, because back then there was a YouTube channel called Ball is Life, but they only in the States. So nobody was covering all the possible stars from Quebec. And then that guy got a job with the Montreal Canadian. So he left around like 2011, 2012, and nobody was filling the gap. So me and my friend, we said, okay, let's start a basketball media company. So that's where Hoops on the Rise came into play, and balancing work, school, and everything, like being at the game like every weekend, filming the highlights, finding the best talent, and like going from high school to CEGEP to university, just trying to get media access to film games. So I think it was very like a long ride, like a passion project that turned into like a real media company that we're just trying to find ways to give back to the community.
Wow. It's fascinating, man.
Thank you.
I'm getting asked about the Catamounts. I'm getting asked about UVM. Could there be players on the collegiate level that come over and are part of the Coyotes?
Yeah, like I think like after like based on like the regulation and the rules of the college level, we need to see like what's doable and what's not doable. And there's some players like I'm not sure if I think for sure Vermont know who he is. Georges Lefebvre, he's a player from Montreal, and he played I think 3 years with the Vermont University team, and now he's back to playing for McGill for his last year, because in Canada we can play 5 years of university. So after you play 3 to 4 years of university in the States, you can go back to play your 5th year, has like your graduate degree or your master's degree. So he has 1 year left, and for sure that's a player that's gonna go film him often because he's playing for McGill University.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to press you a little bit about tomorrow. But first of all, let's just remind people, 5:30 tomorrow night, and the public is invited to come on up to the Barre Auditorium and meet the coach, which will be announced at around 5:30 at that press conference. Do we have an idea of? Can I ask you? Is the coach a Vermonter?
I cannot tell you. You need to come. You need to come to our event in order to see.
Yes, of course. Will there be any announcement during this press conference tomorrow?
We're gonna have.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Of who? Do we have any players that have been announced that will be announced tomorrow?
You need to come to the conference.
Yes, yes. Go ahead. Tell me what you were going to say.
I was gonna say that I think it'd be a major announcement, so everybody should come. Like every person in Vermont who, if you like sports or don't like sports, you need to come support a major event like this in Vermont.
I'm guessing that there's going to be all kinds of merch. There's going to be hats, T-shirts, hoodies, all of that stuff that's going to be coming in time for people to come out and get some branding for the Coyotes.
I'm pretty sure that's my responsibility as the marketing side, to make sure that
right there. You heard it.
Yeah. We need to push merch. That's something that I'm vouching for.
Yeah.
That's something like it's part of the culture.
Sure.
Like if you,
of course,
it's like football, NBA, NFL, hockey, NHL, like everything. Like it's a way to show how proud you are about your own hometown. For example, if I have a team in Montreal, I will be repping jerseys. Or walking down the street, like I would say, this is my town. Like I want the same feeling that everybody's walking to a bar, to even just walking on the street anywhere. Like I want people to be proud.
Yes, very much. Also getting asked about season tickets. Will that be something that will be made available?
We don't have a confirmation, but I'm pretty sure every single team must have season tickets. Like that's a mandatory thing to do.
At some point, I'm guessing on the web there will be a schedule of games that will be posted, the whole 9 yards, including the roster and everything.
Yeah, social media accounts, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Like I'm a big fan of social media. That's what I do on a daily.
Yeah.
So I will make sure that the information won't be missed, and you'll be everywhere. Like you just Google it, you will find the information that you will need. Like that's mandatory.
Wow. What am I missing here? What else can we expect tomorrow? Obviously, the announcement of the coach, announcement of the general manager.
Yeah.
What else?
All the information that we will be able to provide, like I cannot disclose more, because I want the surprise to be all concentrated on the press conference. Yeah. So I don't want to say too much about what we're gonna include. Sure,
of course. Throw some love at Invisible Productions. What have they been doing for you?
They're being amazing. Like all the documentary they've been working on, like I'm gonna go like a small throwback of how I met Anthony. Like it was back, I think I don't remember exactly the years, but approximately like 2016 or 17. That's when he came to Montreal to host a training camp with Impossible. that's like a very well-known YouTube channel that I've been watching myself. When I saw like, oh, Anthony's coming, so I'm like, I would need to document that, because part of Hoops on the Rise is to share whatever information, whatever news that's possible that's happening in Montreal, Quebec, or like / Canada. So when we have like a special guest like that, I'm like, I need to go document that. And when he came to Montreal, then I made a video for him, and just to showcase what we have to expect from a camp like that. And that was the moment. And after that, like jump back to like a few weeks ago, that was like there's a big gap of the last time I heard from him. Then I noticed that he was doing something similar to me. He was into video productions.
Yeah.
So video production, it's more like a documentary, and like he does like commercials, advertising videos, and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, because I didn't know he was doing that. He was jumping from basketball all the way to the same field as me, as like I call it as a creator. And that's a very cool thing to know. And I was surprised about that he's the owner of a professional basketball team, because my dream was to own a professional basketball team in the future, maybe like 10 years, 20 years down the road. So in order for me to reconnect with someone that I met so long ago, and that we have the same goal and we're doing exactly the same thing, and yeah, it's very cool.
Two media guys with visions that need to be aligned for something like this. That's really big.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys he's working this end, you're working the other end, and I mean, this is really something else. Who's going to be there tomorrow? Do we have any? Do you know? Is our mayor going to be there? Is the city manager going to be there?
We're trying our best to invite like all the people possible. We cannot confirm the list of the invitees, but the guests, but we try to get the whole city to come. That's the main goal.
What else? What else am I forgetting here? 5:30 tomorrow night. 5:30. Public is invited. How long is it going to go for?
I think like most likely about like an hour or 2 hours. Like that's something that we're expecting. We don't have the exact time frame, but 5:30, that's when everything starts. So come early in case I'm pretty sure it'll be packed. So I don't want you guys to be stuck in the lineup.
Yeah.
So just come earlier, like be an early bird.
Sure.
Don't be the last one coming in. And
you know, I'm thinking of all of the families that are so excited that next winter they're going to be able to bring their families out in the dead of winter and come out and step inside the Barre Auditorium and forget about everything else and just cheer on our local team, and to bring families together, to bring the kids out, and to have up-and-coming, aspiring basketball players who want to be part of this experience and get out there to the auditorium and just let it go for a while, scream and yell. It's going to be huge.
yeah, like I think like not only families, I want like couples, I want high school players, I want like everybody that's a basketball fan, not only limited to basketball fan, but everybody to come.
Yeah, it's going to be something else. I tell you, man, the excitement level is mounting, and I want to thank you. I want to thank Anthony, Invisible Productions, and Sequoia Media for coming in here and kind of wetting the whistle a little bit. This is really, really huge, and I want to thank you. I appreciate your time so much, and thanks to Invisible Productions, too, for all they've done and staying on me on this. This is tremendous. I hope we have a big media turnout tomorrow night. Welcome to Vermont, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's a absolutely fabulous city, and I love everything that you have over here. Like I need to visit a lot of places that's on my checklist.
Well, make sure you get your snow tires on. I mean, you know what you're doing anyways. But I mean, it's kind of a damp and dreary day, but we are just so excited
Me too. Like, very excited and looking forward to see everybody to come see us tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Russell Chow, part of the marketing team with Sequoia Media, representing the Coyotes, the Vermont Coyotes, our second professional basketball team that is coming to the Granite City. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you.